All right, we are recording this for anybody that can't come and for our soon-to-be returning system consultant. So excited. All right. We will get started, I suppose. Can everybody hear me all right? Yes? Okay, perfect. First up, we have a new consultant starting October 21st, and her name is Amy Iben. Yeah, so I found out Amy was looking for a change, and I said, I wonder if she'd consider. And she did. So she will be back hybrid. So she'll be here. She'll be in the office once a week and then working remotely. So I am hoping some of the things that we were doing with her, like the interest groups, will get kind of revived. But we're going to start with a bit of an assessment and see what we're doing and actually look holistically at what we've been doing, what we can do, what we have the capacity to do, to really take to heart all the lessons we got from Pam Hamilton about burnout and stress out, and make sure that we're preparing appropriately so that you guys get the best out of us, and we can still do our best work. So that is coming up. No worries, Lou. Okay. Speaking of Lou, so Lou is our newest library director, Lou Regalado. She is going to be at Pleasanton, the Hive Library. And Lou also comes to us from the Kansas City area. And there will be more information about her in the newsletter that's coming up. And I hope to get the newsletter out only a month behind. So it'll come out on Friday. So it'll be the September, October, even though September's over. But still, we'll get that sent out, and it has information and deadlines and upcoming calendar and some great information about what the school libraries have been doing and some information about the new allocation criteria as well. So that's that. Thank you to everybody who attended the annual meeting September 6th. This is the first time we actually had a majority. I'm so excited. So thank you for that. Appreciated everybody coming. Hope you enjoyed both the breakout sessions and the roundtables and the keynote speaker. For my list of reminders, I only have a couple. Michelle Smith has asked that you send her any updates to your CE. We knew that Lucretia and Tammy had gone to ARSL. Tammy, I'm guessing you saw Deanne and Jennifer were there as well. Get those hours that you, any CE hours from conferences to Michelle so that she can update your allocation spreadsheet. So then in January, when we send out your allocation form, it's pre-filled with whether or not you came to annual meeting and what your CE is. Okay. Like I mentioned in the newsletter, I'm going to spell out the new youth services allocation guidelines. And you know the way allocation works. The new guidelines are going to go into effect January 2025. So then in 2025, that's the year you get to either initiate or enhance or strengthen or whatever. You get to work on meeting that new criteria. And we have, you can get up to 5%, and each sub criteria, like, do you have a children's play space, or do you have a space in the library that is designed for children and comfortable for children? That gets you 1%. So we have 6 or 7 different criteria, and you can get up to 5%. So, meet 5 of the 7 or be an overachiever and get them all. And so admit that will be spelled out in the newsletter. And so then in January of 2026, when you're looking backwards, that's when you'll decide if you've met those criteria. All righty. And we also need to know regarding the newsletter, What's the best way to get that to your trustees for my public library? Or also, for my academics and schools, who do you want that newsletter to go to? And do you want the newsletter to be only electronic, or do you want print? The one that I'm working on right now is 14 pages. So, I mean, it's a bit of a book, but some people really like to read what's in their hand. So, again, let Michelle know. And if you need us to print off, 7 or 8 copies to put in the courier so you can hand those out at a board meeting so that you know that people will read them, or you want to highlight things, I don't know, that's up to you. We're willing to do that. So let me know. We have a brand new copy machine, so it's not quite the hassle that it was before. And we have a Michelle, so we have a lot more. She can work on that. So, and if you have, I'm going to say already send in your submissions for the November, December newsletter, which we'll try to get out in a month. We'll work really hard at that. I'm sure I'm forgetting lots of other things, but I'm going to pretend I'm Cheryl now. She's next on the agenda. Cheryl Cortez says to be on the lookout for your postcard that lets you know whether or not you want to have holiday themed books, like a box of holiday books. So within the next 2 weeks, that postcard will be coming out. So be on the lookout for that. And then she's also working on the new 2025 schedule for rotation. All right. And Brenda, do you want to do your reminders?
Good morning, everybody.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
No. I mean, I can hear you through the wall, but
we can hear. Okay.
You can hear Tammy?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to say thank you to those who have done their allocation reports and submitted them on the deadline as of yesterday. If not, you still got time to get it in, and the sooner is better, because then you'll get your allocation check, hopefully in the courier, no later than Monday of next week. And if you don't know if you have yours done or not, please let me know. Reminders were sent out yesterday. Only 15 libraries to go. Also, I have 5 libraries who have not completed submission of payment for E-rate. The invoices went out July 31st, and so I'm going to follow up with those 5 libraries to make sure that we get all the bills paid before we go into the last quarter of this year. And as always, if you need questions or help with filing your allocation report, please get a hold of me. Thank you.
did you want to mention Koha dues as well?
Yes, Koha dues. A lot of libraries have been on top of that in submitting Koha. Jason and I are tag teaming to make sure all the libraries are getting their services and invoices. And I'll be reaching out to other libraries too to give you a quick reminder that that is due just around the corner. We would like to have this wrapped up by November 1st.
All right. Thank you. Tammy, do you want to go next, or you want to keep typing?
I just had to write myself another note. I'll try my best, but I'm fighting the crud, so forgive me if I go silent while I cough. Okay. So this year for summer library program, I've been thinking about that already. I'm kind of excited about the theme. It's Color Our World, and I've been seeing a lot of art stuff that's going to be presented. But I wanted to let you know that there will be a workshop in person in Iola, January 28th. We're going to call it Introduction to Youth Services because of the allocation guideline changes that Sharon mentioned before, and we're going to talk a little bit about what youth services look like in a variety of different ways, including planning for your summer library program. So if you're a new director, if this is something new to you, you haven't done it before, or maybe you've done it for 1 year, but you want to sit in anyway, be looking for that January 28th. Mark your calendar now. The CSLP Library Symposium will be December 5th. This is something that CSLP, which is the company we buy our posters and our book logs and all that from, it stands for Collaborative Summer Library Program. They hold a symposium, and they offer it for free to all of our member libraries, and you are a member through the state of Kansas, and it will be December 5th. I've watched this every year since its inception. They're always exceptional. And so this year we're going to use the symposium as our summer library program workshop. Registration opens for that November 5th, and I'm going to put the link in the chat for you if you want more information about it. And as always, I'll give you the opportunity to provide feedback on how that worked out for you, whether or not you liked that format at the end of summer. It feels to me like maybe we're ready for a change and ready to move on from what we've been doing. So we'll see how this goes, and I look forward to hearing from you all on if you agree or disagree. The times are shown in Eastern Standard Time. So if you clicked on that link and you're putting that on your calendar, make sure that you know that you have to adjust your time. We have a Reader Zone training coming up February 13th, and I'm kind of excited about this. I met with Jake Ball, who is the founder of Reader Zone at Arcel, and yeah, it's gonna be good. He told me that they have templates now. So you don't have to start from scratch and program your stuff like you did before. So I'm really excited about that as well. And I think that will allow some of you who've been wanting to try it but couldn't get over that hump, the opportunity to try Reader Zone and offer that to your patronage. Maybe this summer. I would love that. And I think maybe they would be interested as well. And then last thing on my list is just an update on the FEPL funding. If you didn't know, FEPL was anticipating expanding across the state this year and had several partnerships that were ready to go. And it turns out we were level funded. At the federal level, they don't have a budget passed yet. So we will not be expanding to different systems. However, we will be adding 3 additional libraries. We anticipate adding 3 additional libraries in Southeast Kansas library system. Those will be announced Friday, which I believe is why Sharon's holding the newsletter. I think that's it for me. Any questions? Thank you.
No. Okay. I'm trying to multitask and I'm failing. I wanted to real quick pretend I'm Amy and go over some additional CE information for you because I have the calendar right here. So let me find it. There we go. Okay. Hopefully you guys celebrated Band Book Week. It's over. We have quick tips for project management with my friend Brenda Haug on October 10th. So 10/10. That's going to be online. And there's 2 different webinars she's going to do. The first one is going to be project management. The second one's going to be time management. So that's coming up, and I think you've already gotten a flyer about that, but it's on the calendar at the sekls.org/calendar. Brenda is now, she does staff development at Topeka Public. Then the October 10th is also the school library book project deadline for Tammy. October 11th is when the competitive grants are due. So Darren might talk a little bit more about that. The office is closed on the 14th, but we do have a joint IPL SEKLS special board meeting that afternoon. Darren will probably talk to you about a Hoopla webinar. The academic school extended service grants are due October 18th. I'm looking at Robert. I know. So if you guys want to do your academic school extended service grants, if you're open to the public, this is your opportunity to get some additional funding. So look at that. And then October 20th to the 26th is National Friends of the Library Week. So if you have some friends, show them some love. And then KLA is over Halloween, October 30th through November 1st. Do we know when early bird registration ends?
I
think
believe it
it's
ended yesterday.
ended yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Darn. Okay, but we do have our CE grants that can help you with that. And then in November, I won't worry about November. We're just starting with October. So we've got some CE for you in October, plus, extensive CE at KLA, including Amanda Morgan. Tammy, I don't know if you want to plug her as a pre-conference at KLA.
Yeah, pretty excited about Amanda Morgan coming in. I had the opportunity to see and listen to Amanda at a different conference, but she's a nationally recognized expert on play-based learning. And so we have been working for a year to talk about and come up with what does that look like in public library settings, so that we're maximizing the opportunities that we have with children and families as well. And if there are several of you in here, I see Deanne, I see Sammy, I see Bonnie, who else, that will be bringing in an early childhood play station and setting them up around the room. So if you don't know what that is, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you think this is interesting to you and you'd like some new ideas, or you'd like to start something, plan on attending on the 30th and register for that when you register for KLA. And thank you to all of our libraries who volunteered to help with this session.
And that pre-conference is free.
It's with your registration.
Yeah, with your registration.
Mhm.
Okay, awesome. Okay, did you do your FEPL grant and I just missed it? You did? Okay.
I did, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty. So Brenda Cash, do you want to go?
Sure. I don't have a lot. I've been out and about doing training. I do want to remind everybody that if you've got invoices sitting on your desk for lost books, books that are lost in transit, books that your patrons didn't bring back from other libraries, you need to be thinking about getting those done before the end of the year. You can make 8 claims on the materials replacement fund in a year, and they have to be at least 2 months overdue and not more than a year. So take advantage of that if you owe people money. Use the state's money to pay them off. Other than that, same old with the courier. There's been some interesting things going on. So
Is there anything from the Share It training you want to mention? Or I know we had several folks from our system who went to that.
yes, I guess I would say for the ones that attended, if you have questions over what she covered or you need help implementing something, reach out and I can help walk through that. I know that Morgan was there from Kincaid, and when I went to give her some more training, she had already taken care of some things. So if anything confused you, let's see if I can help you figure it out. I think that's all.
All right, thank you. Cindy Chalker, special needs. I am happy to announce that at the State Library Board meeting on Friday, our Talking Books grant was approved. So we get to have Cindy for another year. Yeah.
All right. I have quite a few things, but I'll try to go quickly. So speaking of Topeka, at that time, they also let everybody know that we're getting a new person, Ryan Lauber, who's going to be working up at Emporia in the Talking Books, a library assistant. So that should help. I'm not quite sure what his duties will be, but anyway, there's a new form, application form, and it's got a place for the parents of, like before, the parents of any children who signed up, there was no place on the form. So that has made the form a little bit longer, but basically it's the same. They've also added in the remote control, so you can check that, which is a good idea to go ahead and get that. Let me mark as I go so I don't try to repeat anything. Coming up, there's something they call Novembard because of Bard. Braille and Reading download. They usually put out a press release, so I'll be contacting TV and radio, so you might hear something. And Bard is another way to receive the talking books, whereby you use Kindle, iPhone, Android platform, any kind of computer, and you download it yourself. And so you don't have to have a clunky machine, and you can take it anywhere. Let's see, November. I'm doing a conference. I do it each year. It's on Friday and Saturday, and it's I get mixed up on all these acronyms. It's the Kansas Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. And of course, it's all virtual, and it's really interesting. I enjoy it a lot. The Aging with Attitude Expo is going to be the last Friday. I'm on that planning committee again, as are a lot of people in Southeast Kansas. We're going to have it in Independence at the college this time around. So you'll be receiving things. And again, I appreciate those of you who put the placards up at your library. I decided not to go to KLA this year because the sessions didn't really fit what I do that much. So instead, I'm working on this 12 hours of virtual training about trauma and PTSD. And I've been learning a lot on that. I also did a training on service animals, and it's much more limited than I thought in terms of what you can ask if somebody brings a service animal in. And the only service animals there are horses and dogs. So I'm going to put that in the next newsletter, that information.
And I will just say, Cindy, that we have some service animals that are horses in our area. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll be happy to give you that information as well.
I love that. I had no idea.
My niece has
Until-
one, a miniature pony.
I love that. I may have to come down and visit, Tammy. Then this Thursday is Talking Books Advisory Council, and we have someone from Southeast Kansas now who's a patron of Kansas Talking Books. So I'll be driving over there and we will Zoom in together. So she's now on the advisory council, and we outreach people, do our reports. I believe the last thing is, and I think maybe Darren's going to talk about this a little bit, but DOC, which stands for, let's see here, I wrote it down. Digital Opportunities to Connect Kansans, and it's through the state Department of Commerce. So it's David Toland, if any of you guys know David. And it's digital resources for ages 55 and above. And there are certain things that criteria that they wanted to meet. And we did a Zoom meeting with them, and they've already started and they have some cool stuff. So we'll be getting back to you guys on that. And I think there's over $200,000 that Greenbush, who is spearheading it, that's how much we got. So it's a pretty good deal. And
Cindy, I want to follow up a little bit about that.
Okay.
So, because I don't want people to get confused. So
okay.
their DOC grant opportunity is open right now for new grants, but in the first round, Greenbush wrote a grant to create a lot of digital literacy and digital like tech training for 55 plus. So they're working on this, and we're a partner. We're one of the named partners for that grant, because we're going to help distribute it through the libraries. So know that at your public library, you're going to get this professionally developed training, including webinars, sheets, little back and front sheets of how to check your email, how to tell if it's spam, just a lot of those common questions that you're probably getting when people come in and don't know about their technology. So that grant is in process right now, and we are a named partner for that. So, and that's what you were talking about, Cindy, was that one that we're a partner in. Yeah.
Right. And the last thing is, I want people to start checking out my fidget. It's not, anyway, there are 5 different choices and there's cool things. I would love it if you guys would check them out, put them at the front desk or the circ desk. When somebody comes in and there's some little kids there, there's cool things like this little bird that you can balance. Uh-oh. And he does have a little pyramid that he can balance on. But anyway, it's just full of fidgets that this is a wrist rest, but it's so soft, it's fun to squish. And it's like try before you buy. This is a little bit quieter and more manageable than the big ones. And then there are puzzles. And I've also included a card that has the different items. I can't believe, anyway, so please check them out. And if things get lost, we have backups. So that's all.
I put 2 links in the chat. One is directly to the Seek and Find search for all the special needs things that are in the kit. And the second link is where on our website that we have the professional collections and the kits that Jason has put together. What do you call those? Bookshelves, virtual bookshelves for all the different collections, including youth services, professional collection, and all of her special needs items. All right. Okie dokie. Let me get out of that and get back over here so I know what I'm doing. Jason, since I mentioned your name, I guess that means you get to go next.
Sure. I don't have too much. I survived Montreal, so I'm back. Just trying to get caught up. The main things right now, I turned on the slip promotion that we had talked about. If you haven't gotten your free roll of paper yet, that form should still be active, so feel free to fill that out and we'll get you one on the courier. You should see it at the end of the standard slip now. It's just a little picture of our logo and a blurb that says something about Seek and Find being a service of the Southeast Kansas Library System, which is funded by rural taxpayers in your county, whatever Sharon sent me to put there. It's just showing on the regular slip, not the quick slip. So there's that. The upgrade is tomorrow evening. So remember tomorrow's Wednesday, Thursday, remember to clear your cache, and I'll send an email reminder out about that. The recording for the training is up. If you haven't seen that, you can check out what's coming that's new. Nothing too major or impactful. And then the only other thing to keep in mind for me is that we do have a users group coming up. We talked about changing things up a little bit, but for this next one, I'm going to keep our same format. So it's on November 8th. It'll be hybrid. We'll have an hour of CE ahead of it and then the 2-hour meeting. So if you want to attend in person here in Iola, you can, or you can attend online via Zoom. And that's a little over a month out. I'll try and get the registration out next week so that you guys can sign up for that. And it will mostly be recaps of my trip and things like that. My 2 conferences, I'll have recaps on that. And we'll also have a KAGR, a Kansas Koha group at KLA. And I'll have updates from there as well. So if you're going to KLA, you can also attend that. Would love to see you there.
And we are sponsors again this year for KLA, and we'll have our booth. And we already have started making some swag with all of our fun new toys that Darren has gotten for us. So Darren, are you ready to give your, okay, I'm gonna put it over to Darren. Nope, still muted. Yeah,
I hear me now?
yes.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, we're mentioning some of our new toys. One of them is the engraver that we've been taking to libraries, and just want to let everybody know that so far we've been learning a few good things about that. Right now it's in, I just took it there yesterday, Howard, and when I went in there, they had a bunch of stuff that they purchased. They were ready to go, and they're very interested in trying to do some stuff with the adults, but also with children too. So we're learning different things about this particular engraver, whether or not it would be the one that I would recommend if you tried to purchase one. It would depend upon what your needs were. But this is also being a pilot of what I'm looking at on this round of the doc grant that we're trying to apply for, on doing some stuff with Makerspace and other technology-based stuff that we can share with the different libraries, since I know our budgets are limited and we need some of this stuff would be good to bring to your library for a week or two at a time. And that's what we're trying to get a few more resources besides just an engraver or two. And so I'll be communicating with you guys on that a little bit, as far as making sure that when we do apply for the grant, that you're interested in participating. As both Sharon and Cynthia has talked about, we are partnership in the grant with Greenbush. You're going to be having some digital stuff that will be available, and then also some one-page handouts, and they're really good. And I think we're also we've been told that we've got access to a little bit of money to help us help you guys distribute things. And I'll let Sharon. We're discussing whether or not we might be able to get a poster printer for the system that might be able to print several of these one-page things at one time, and then create some posters that can go within the with the system. Is there any update that you want to talk about on that, Sharon?
No, not yet, but it's having a large format printer has been on the wish list board here in the office for a long time. Tammy's going to nod her head because she wants one. I think Jason probably would love one too. So we are looking to see if we can use this money for that.
And so hopefully that would be the case, and then that'll actually give you, or it'll help us out with some other programs, but especially trying like Cynthia said, the quality of the products that they've created is very good. I'm very impressed with what they've done so far, and they're going to. Sharon mentioned there is in October, I believe it's October 18th, it's the Thursday of that week. We will have the representative from Hoopla on a webinar. You should be receiving the invitations to that webinar either today or tomorrow. That's on me, I apologize. And then also we will have an E-rate webinar in November that will have Ben from E-rate Solutions as a speaker on that. Yesterday I was in Howard, and I saw that they were doing some renovations with an addition to their building. And as I talked to Emma, if you've got some stuff that or especially some renovations where you might need some new network drops, or we need cabling done and stuff, that is something that can be done with E-rate 2 or Category 2. So if you are doing some long-term plans, we need to consider trying to figure out how to integrate that or E-rate Category 2 in there to help pay for some of the more expensive costs, because you're going to get reimbursed, or 80% of that gets paid for, and you're only responsible for 20%. And again, on that November webinar, we'll talk about that a little bit more for also equipment related to universal power or backup batteries, and also any hardware that is needed for your closet, routers, stuff like that. And let's see if I got the one last thing that I do have is the Makerspace Summit. I attended one of those this last week, and we're trying our best to provide as much makerspace type of things for our member libraries. The one thing that we do need to remember is that we're probably never going to be able to be exactly some of the makerspace programs like the Fab Lab, the one there in Emporia. But what we're trying to do is create as much of a makerspace for our patrons, and then where they can go ahead and go to some of the bigger makerspaces that are going to have $5,000, $10,000 equipment. Then they'll at least have the basic skills to do some of that, and then we might be able to create some partnerships. So I'm very, very interested and excited about what we are able to do. It's taken a little bit longer than I was hoping, but I think we've made some great progress. So the for the Southeast Kansas, it's due on October 11th. For those of you who are thinking it was October 4th, that was the original date, but since we had the webinar a week later, we went ahead and extended that. So those of you who have sent me some emails, I'm working on stuff related to VR. I've working on it. Some of you are going to have some concerns about whether or not you're getting all the computers that you need, and we'll do the best we can to try to request. I'll help you out with requesting what you need, but I will also help you out on trying to figure out if there's other grant opportunities that we can apply for to be able to help you meet all the shortages that you might have for your computers. And Sharon, I believe that's all I got.
Okay. In the perpetual minutes, so we talked about the Adopt grant and the Doc grant, and the links to both of those are in that online Google document where we kind of, keep all of this information in one place. So if you go to the September 4th notes, all of those links are there. The folks that are in charge of the Doc grant have been speaking. They spoke at the State Library Board meeting. They spoke at our last system directors meeting. They've probably spoken at a consultants meeting. They're really trying to get the word out. The Doc grant is open now. The Adopt grant will be open the first quarter of 2025. And those are both technology grants. The example that they use for, I think it was a Doc grant, was Wichita. So Wichita Public Library purchased and distributed Wi-Fi enabled charging station benches all over town. So, you can go to a neighborhood, find one of these benches, sit down, plug in your device, recharge it, and get free internet. So that's an example that they like to share. These funding opportunities are your chance to look at laptops that you can do long-term checkout for. Their goal is to get internet and devices into people's homes who can't afford it, so that they're not left behind. So that's what that is. Dead horse, we're going to beat it a little bit more because it's a lot of money. We're talking like millions of dollars that's just sitting there. So why not come to us? That's my attitude. Okay, I always forget some of my people. Did I forget any of my people? Brenda, I got Tammy, okay. All right, then I think we're ready for round robin. Who has questions? Oh, Kay, you reminded me of something. Dave was able to help her actually put in the cable at her new location. So that's something we've done before. All right, Bev, you had your hand up first.
Hi, everybody. Many of you know Carol Ann Robb, who has worked at the Pittsburgh Public Library in the Adult Services and Reference Department for 32 years now. She's retiring, and her retirement reception is this Friday, October 4th, and it's between 2 and 4 p.m. There's a short program at 2:30, and we welcome anyone to come by the library and say hello, goodbye to Carol Ann and have a few treats. And cards are welcome as well. If you'd like to send Carol Ann a card, our address is 308 North Walnut, Pittsburgh, Kansas, 66762. But anyway, we'd love to see you all there.
Thank you. Kay? Oh, unmute. There you go.
Yeah. Hey, you may already, I was late getting in this morning, so you may have already discussed this, but and I know that I'm on the deadline for the technology grant, but there's two different dates. The one on the website itself says the 4th. The one on the slides that Darren presented at the workshop says the 11th. So which one's right?
It's the 11th. We extended the deadline because we were a little bit later getting the information out and doing the initial kickoff webinar. So
Okay.
it's not due this Friday. It's
Good.
due on the 11th. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
The 11th is the correct one.
Yeah, the 11th is correct. So 10/11
All right. Thank you, dear.
after the webinar on 10/10. So okay. Oh, there was something else. Oh, speaking of retirement, our good friend Julie is retiring from Erie. And we will send out information when we get it about her, whatever shindig they do for her. And we are for anybody who won an excellence award, first, congratulations. Sorry, I cried at the event. I'm a sap that way. We're waiting on the your major awards that you get to take with you. So those are getting engraved, and then once we get those in the building, we will reach out to everybody who won an excellence award to coordinate with you celebration, but that's not the word I'm thinking of. When we can come and show it to you, and you can invite the press and invite your friends and family and make a big deal.
Presentation.
Yes, because it's a big deal. You won an excellence award. So, Kay, did you have another question, or you're good? Okay, Tammy.
Yeah, I see Sammy put it in the chat as well. Julie's retirement reception is tomorrow at Erie Public Library from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Okay. I can actually go. Okay, awesome. And is Kaylee new at Colony since our last forum? All right, so Ploma is no longer at Colony. She has been replaced with Kaylee Allen, who is delightful, and a student at ACC. So she's kind of doing multiple things. She's already come and visited with us, and we are excited to help her. And we've already put her in touch with Morgan, so Southern Anderson County can join forces. Beware, Garnett. So maybe Anderson County can do some cool stuff like Greenwood County did. Yes, so excited to build those collaborations. Anybody else want to share? You have questions? Seth, well, Seth's he's talking to somebody else. It's like, what have they started construction? I know that there's a hole. I think they've started demolition in Frontenac, so that's exciting. I was talking about your new building, Seth. Do you guys have a hole in the ground now, or what?
We actually have a concrete pad.
Woo-hoo!
So we're waiting on steel now, and they're starting the library park this week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Moving along.
Huh?
Interestingly enough, my husband's company will be supplying the steel.
Well,
Oh,
there we
really?
go.
That's awesome.
Um, it, I had a question. Oh, so Ray Walling was asking me about which libraries along the border they should go visit next year, and I was like, oh well, you know, Frontenac might not be done, but we should definitely stop by Frontenac and go see it. And I volunteered your library too, Bev, because I think it's going to be Ray from Kansas, and then Robin, I think, is the state librarian in Missouri, and they're going to come together and so maybe see some of our border libraries.
Great.
And maybe Fort Scott. So I will keep you I'll let you know what's going on. We're talking about Ray, so it will be very well planned in advance. He's not me. I'm trying to think. There's really nothing big from the state library board meeting that we had last on Friday. It was actually a very, very short meeting. We never have short meetings, but we did that time. So when Amy starts, I think we're going to focus on visiting all the directors she's not met yet. So the about 15 new directors that we've had in the last 2 years. So, but we will be out and about again, weather permitting. Anybody else? We saw 15 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you haven't made it up to see our building since our addition is done.
Not since it's been done. I saw it when it was studs.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, we will definitely come see you. Andrea?
This is really kind of a question for Jason or whoever the people are that go around and do inventory stuff. How far out are you booked on that at this point in time?
Well, Kim is gonna leave the country for a little while, so I need her. We're looking at doing Eureka after she gets back, but we could probably get you in November, sometime. You're muted.
We are not in a huge big hurry, but I just didn't know if you had several coming up or whatever. So I've got some weeding projects that got to be completed before you. No need inventorying books we're getting rid of. So
Exactly. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yes.
That's all
I
I
knew
had.
I was forgetting something. Kim's not here. So, you know, we'll give the normal plug for technical services, send them your cataloging, send them your weird books, and send them your laminating. I think the cover one is actually out at a library right now. So we don't have that in-house, but we can help with book repairs. And we are co-sponsoring the Book Doctor presentation at KLA again. So if you wanted to go to that and weren't able to when we had it and are going to go to KLA, that is going to be available.
I feel like I should plug a couple of other sessions since we're talking about sessions. The FEPL folks, including Sharon and Sammy and Bonnie and Tian, and I don't see anyone else, will have a session and talk about their programs and what they've been doing and the results. So that one's coming up. The Intellectual Freedom Committee that I co-chair is going to have a panel discussion. So if that's something that you're interested in, come be a part of that and bring your questions. Myra Dow will be on that panel, as well as my co-chair that I'm like, Lacey Griffin. And we're working with an artist who did the mobile in the Wichita Advanced Learning Center, the metal mobile that hangs down that catches the light. He has created one and will be donating it during that session. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And then we're revising and reprising the performers showcase this year as well. So we'll be busy and well represented.
Awesome. Samantha?
If you are attending KLA, don't forget to bring a basket for the raffle. The proceeds from that help individuals clear across Kansas to be able to participate in KLA and to continue on with their library education. So anyway, I'm on that committee, so
Yeah,
I
who's
feel
your
like I should say
co-chair?
something. Virginia from Iola Public, or no, Iola Community College.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Allen Community
mhm.
College, Virginia
Yeah,
Schaefer.
whatever
Okay,
it's called.
and that's KLAEF, right? The Educational Fund.
Uh-huh,
All right.
yes.
Thank you. I think we already have what, 2 or 3, Brenda? 2? Okay.
Yeah, and I love the idea that you guys have for just like board games. I mean, that's just simple and perfect. It doesn't have to be something expensive. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It just a basket with something in it. It's really all that needs to happen.
Well, now, Sammy, it's not just going to be board games. We will have food, and the adult one will have wine, and the children's one will have something else.
So there we go.
Well, mine has
We're doing 2, one with adult games, one with kids games.
I got you. Mine has a blanket and a neck pillow and chocolate and travel size liquor bottles. So there you go.
Alcohol and junk food.
They go well. And so does anything Kansas City Chiefs. That's what we did last year. And that basket was well ticketed. So yeah. Andrea?
Couple things. First of all, this year you could probably get away with doing a Royals basket, somebody, because they are, we'll know in a few more days, I guess, how they're doing. But I had a reason for raising my hand and I've forgotten what it was. Oh, I know what it was. The Sunflower Consortium Committee will have a meeting on Friday. I don't know what time, at KLA. And if you want to know more about it, and there's not a more exciting thing to go to at that time slot, stop in and rest in that session instead of in the hallway, whatever. So if you're in the consortium, Sunflower Consortium, or just want to know more about it, that would be a good thing to attend.
And we've talked, and I don't even know what is planned for the evenings at KLA, but at this point, nothing SEK. We're not planning anything. We're just we're kind of spent. So if you want to come eat with us and you find us, great. But I don't think we're going to be planning anything too organized for KLA this year. I'm using the fact that my new consultant is starting the week that KLA for my excuse. I feel like I had some other things I was supposed to talk about, but I don't have them written down. Therefore, they no longer exist in the world because they're not on one of my little Post-it notes. Sorry about that. Any others? We still have about 8 minutes. If we want, we can always leave early and enjoy the 75-degree weather today. And the super cool. It's supposed to get down to 49 tonight. I'm super excited. Okay. If no, okay. And if you do need to use one of our grants to go to KLA, remember you have to get that grant request in early. You can't, go to KLA and then after the fact go, oh, can I get a grant for that? No. Yeah. So go to the sekls.org website and look under it's under grants under services, or and then we have all of our different continuing education grants plus the policy. So there's the general CE and state conference application. There's a small library grant. Yeah, so those two that you can look at. General consulting education grant and small library attendance grant. So information about that grant is on that page. All of the grant applications are on that page, and the vouchers that you need if you've already gotten a grant where you provide us with all of your receipts and everything. All that information is on the grants page. Chat. Why didn't chat open? There it is. There you go. Okay. Oh, hey, Kim, welcome. All right. Tammy?
Nope, that was an error. My apologies.
Okay. Kim, we shared that you should be sent cataloging, laminating, and that the cover one is out. Did we miss anything?
Okay. No, that's it. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. And we have the bug zapper too. Hopefully you don't need it.
Yeah. Well, we only have one broke, so
Oh, that's not good.
no.
Okay. Um, oh, I'm gonna put on my Iola hat. Has anybody found a replacement for New Leaf or whatever that Union Mission in Wichita is for your leftover used books? We have a book sale coming up mid-October, and I got to figure out what to do with boxes of leftover books. Has anybody, yeah, Andrea, who'd you find?
This really only works because we're really close to Ottawa, but they have a friend's bookstore and they take our stuff. I don't know why. I feel like we should pay them as we're bringing in these books, but they're all excited about them. So there you go. So that's what we did. That's what we used to do before the Union Mission. So we're kind of back to doing that again.
Okay.
So that probably doesn't help most of the system, but it would, you know, like some of the closer people, Parker and Lacey, maybe you guys, if whatever.
We can pack them up and take them to Pittsburgh for recycling. But they won't come to get them.
Do you have to, you don't have to tear them apart or anything for take them to Pittsburgh?
No.
Or they don't? Okay.
No. Yeah. And I already reached out to them and that they will take it. It's just, we have to, you know, either fill up a trailer and take them down. Darren, where did we take them last year? Burlington? I'll ask him when he gets back in. So if you know of some great place for your leftovers, please let me know. That's on my to-do list. All right.
Okay, this is Darren. Goodwill and Emporia will take books, and then also we can have COF from Burlington or Ottawa come pick them up as well.
Okay.
So Nikki put some interesting information in the chat. She said Salvation Army in Pittsburgh will take the books, and she has a lady who will take paperbacks at the Crawford County Jail. Nikki, what kind of paperbacks? Are you talking about anything or romance or anything? Okay.
Anything? Okay. And then I know I've already asked about so anything large print is going to go to the nursing home. So we're going to do some redistribution that we haven't done in the past before we just. And I love that we weren't just recycling or just dumping the books when they went to Union Mission. They were trying to get a second life. So maybe the book dealers will just buy everything and we won't have any leftovers. Andrea?
What does COF do with the books, Darren? Do they use that as a project for their people that they're working with? Is that what they're doing with them, or
they'll take them to the Cryptopia in Ottawa and they sell them there. They're actually one of the largest, I guess, book dealers in the area. So if you're wanting to try to buy books, there's a great place there. They've got a pretty good inventory, but that's where they'll take them to Cryptopia, and then they use the proceeds to help the residents at the three different areas that they support. And I also just want to remind you, because I've done this with Thayer and I've done this with a couple other libraries, I will bring the van to your library, pick them up, and then take them to either Goodwill or drop them off at COF.
I would ask that you try to get some help. So like I've reached out to ACC, to the students and some of the student athletes, because I think I would like others to help with the heavy lifting. So Okay, thank you. This has been helpful. I really appreciate it. And that's taken us to 10 o'clock. All right. We will be in touch, and I really do hope we get to see you guys at KLA. I was looking at, it looks like there's some great programs, and definitely plug Amanda Morgan. So that's going to be awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great month. Have a great year. There we go. Crawford County Jail. Okay. Thank you.